Hey y'all, my name is Miranda and I live and hike right here in Western North Carolina. Today I'm going to share with you my favorite 25 hikes and waterfalls within an hour's drive of Asheville, North Carolina. It's great that there's so many waterfalls and hikes in Western North Carolina, but it can be super overwhelming to choose which one is best for you, especially if you only have a weekend or a day. When I first moved here, I spent hours clicking through a bunch of different web pages and maps and getting lost and trying to figure out how to get to these places and where I should hike, when the best time of year was to hike. That's why I created this list. This is the list I wish I had when I first started hiking here in Asheville. I've personally explored and filmed all of these trails myself. This is gonna be the fastest and easiest way to plan your Asheville hiking adventures. This list is for you if you need help narrowing down literally the hundreds of hikes and waterfalls that are in Western North Carolina. You don't have a ton of time, you don't wanna drive too far, you don't wanna get lost, you're visiting or new to the Asheville area, you don't have a ton of hiking experience yet, you're looking for a trail with a mixed group, so mixed ages or physical abilities, and you're looking for easy, safe, and well-maintained trails. There's something for everyone in this list, including beginners, kids, families, and some harder and longer hikes for those who want more of a challenge. I'll also leave a link in the description to a blog post where I grouped all 25 of these hikes together with more information and links. And here's 3 tips that are really useful before you plan your hike. So make sure you check and see that the trail is opened before you drive there. So especially in the winter and after storms and a lot of rain, certain trails might be closed temporarily or permanently due to the season or to trail damage. So you always want to make sure that the trail is open before you spend all that time driving there. And I have the resources for that in my blog post. So you're really likely to lose cell service out in the mountains here. So it's a really good idea to download, save, print, or screenshot the map and the directions before you get to the trail. I highly recommend an app called All Trails, which will show you the trail map as well as directions on how to get there, and also helpful reviews and photos. And dress in layers. The temperatures in the mountains can be anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees cooler than in town, especially in the mornings and the evenings. So you wanna make sure you wear layers so you can get warmer and cooler as needed. So these first few trails are southwest of Asheville. Okay, first up is one of the easiest falls to visit. It's located right off the side of the road on 276 south of Asheville. Looking Glass Falls is not really a hike. You can literally just park your car on the side of the road and walk down the sidewalk and see Looking Glass Falls from the road, or take the platform down and get a closer look. It's located in Pisgah Forest in Brevard, North Carolina. It's pretty family friendly and relatively accessible in the winter. Next is Moore Cove Falls. This is also a pretty family friendly hike. It's about 1.2 miles easy round trip. It's also located in Pisgah Forest in Brevard, North Carolina, pretty close to Looking Glass Falls. Number 3, Hooker Falls is located in DuPont Forest, which is in Cedar Mountain, North Carolina. And this is also a pretty easy hike. It's less than a mile round trip, about 0.7 miles, family friendly, and you'll see a really cool waterfall here. There's also a decent sized parking lot, but it does fill up pretty quickly, so get there early on the weekends, or even better is to visit during a weekday. And there's also restrooms near the falls. You can also stick your feet in and even swim around a little bit in the summer. Next is the Triple Falls and High Falls Trail. This is also in DuPont Forest, and you'll see 2 awesome waterfalls on this hike. It's about 4.5 miles, easy to moderate hiking. There are picnic areas, restrooms, and parking near the start of the High Falls Trail. Another awesome waterfall in DuPont is Bridal Falls, and you can get there also starting from the High Falls or Visitor Center area. It's 4.7 miles, easy hike. A lot of it is along a gravel road, and part of the Hunger Games was filmed here, which is pretty cool. The last waterfall I'd recommend in DuPont is Wintergreen Falls. This is a little bit more off of the beaten path, and you have to park in a separate area of the park called the Guion Farm Access Area. But it's a 3.1 mile easy to moderate hike. Also can be a little bit of a swimming hole during the warmer months. Next is Looking Glass Rock. This has an amazing view at the top and is about just over 6 miles, moderate to strenuous hike, located in Pisgah Forest in Brevard, North Carolina. And an extra tip for this one is to make sure you check the sunset time before you go so you don't get caught in the dark here. Number 8 is the Devil's Courthouse hike. This is located along the Blue Ridge Parkway, and it's a pretty short hike, less than a mile round trip, but it goes straight up, so it can be kind of strenuous. But I've seen plenty of families and all kinds of people hike this, complete this hike and get to the top. It's a really great view from the top. Just make sure you stay in the designated area. There are rare plants and birds that nest in that area. Next, kind of near Devil's Courthouse, is Black Balsam Knob. This is about a 1.5 mile moderate hike in Pisgah National Forest, located in Canton, North Carolina. It's also just off of the Blue Ridge Parkway. You'll drive south of Asheville on the Blue Ridge Parkway, and you'll take a right on a road called Black Balsam Road. Go to the end, you can park along this road and hike to Black Balsam that way, or you can drive to the end of the lot and hike to Black Balsam Knob. Also from the parking lot at the end of this road is Sam Knob. This is a 2.5 mile moderate to strenuous hike where you'll also get a really great view at the top of the peak. Also part of Pisgah National Forest in Canton, North Carolina, very close to Black Balsam Knob, like I said. A couple waterfalls you might want to see are Graveyard Fields. There's actually 2 waterfalls you can see here. The lower falls is the easier hike, and this is about 1/2 mile round trip from the parking lot that also has porta potties or restrooms there, open throughout the year. And this is a super short, family-friendly hike, well maintained. There's actually a boardwalk and some steps that have been built to help you get down to the bottom of the falls. And the second waterfall at Graveyard Fields, the Upper Falls, is a little bit longer and harder hike. It's just under 3 miles round trip, and I'd say it's a moderate hike. It can also, it's not as well marked either, so it can be a lot harder to find than the lower falls, so make sure you download the map on All Trails for that one. Number 13 on this list, Frying Pan Mountain Lookout Tower. This location is really cool because there is an abandoned fire tower here that you can climb to the top and get an amazing panoramic view of the mountains from. It's about 1.5 easy to moderate miles hiking round trip. There's a little bit of parking on the side of the road, but not a lot, so you might want to go early for this one. But it's really cool to get some photos. To be totally honest, I was so terrified the first time I hiked this, and I still get kind of terrified hiking up to the top of this tower. Hey y'all, real quick, if you're finding value in this video, please help me out by giving me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. I've also created a 19-page travel guide for Asheville that you can download for free with the link in the description below. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thanks, let's get back to the video. Okay, next we have Mount Pisgah, and this is a moderate to strenuous 5.3 miles round trip. The first part of the hike is relatively easy, and then you start going straight up for the last mile or so. So it can be a lot more strenuous towards the end, but the view from the top is totally worth it. There's a cool platform at the top that you can get a panoramic view from. And there's also a radio tower that kind of obstructs part of the view, but it's still totally worth hiking up there. Okay, next, there's another great hike that is south of Asheville in Saluda, North Carolina. This is Pearson's Falls, and it's super family friendly. It's about 0.7 miles round trip, really easy and well-maintained trail. They have a good parking lot. They have restrooms there, but you do have to pay a fee to get in, and dogs are not allowed at this location. Dogs are allowed on leashes at pretty much all of your trails in North Carolina, but Pearson's Falls is not one of those. So don't take the doggies to this one. Moving on to southeast of Asheville, Hickory Nut Falls is located at Chimney Rock State Park. And this is about a 1.5 mile round trip hike to see a pretty awesome waterfall. Again, you do have to pay to get in at Chimney Rock Park, but it's totally worth the admission fee. Speaking of which, you totally have to hike to the top of Chimney Rock Park. This has been a tourist destination for so many years, and Exclamation Point and Devil's Head is kind of the main trail at Chimney Rock Park that will lead you to the rock where everybody gets the pictures and gets the incredible view of Lake Lure and the surrounding mountains. Again, there is a fee to get in, but it's totally worth it. There's also an elevator that will take you to the top of Chimney Rock. So if you have people in your group that are in a wheelchair or can't hike the stairs to the top of the rock, you can always take the elevator up or down. Number 18 is BRIDAL Mountain. So this is a 2.5 mile round trip, moderate hike located. It overlooks the Hickory Nut Gorge in Girton, North Carolina. And a few notes about this hike. So you'll probably see cows at the top of this mountain, which means there will be cow poop everywhere. So just watch where you step. So we're up to number 19, WILDCAT Rock. This is also located in the Hickory Nut Gorge and Girton, North Carolina area. This is a 3.5 mile moderate to strenuous hike. So if you want a little bit more of a challenge and a booty burner of a hike, definitely hike WILDCAT Rock. It's got a great view from the rock itself, and you'll see a little waterfall, BRIDAL Falls, along the way on this hike. Okay, located northeast of Asheville, number 20, Tom's Creek Falls. This is a pretty easy hike located in Pisgah National Forest, less than a mile round trip. It's about 0.7 miles. And there's a really great waterfall at the end. This is also a really accessible hike if you have strollers or wheelchairs or limited mobility. There's also a viewing platform that you can see the falls from. You can also get down into the base of the falls and take your shoes off and kind of walk around a little bit. CRAGGY Pinnacle. This is located on the Blue Ridge Parkway, and it's about a mile round trip hike. I would say this is the best place to watch the sunset or sunrise. Technically located in Barnardsville, North Carolina, just north of Asheville. Number 22, Craggy Gardens. This is just under a 2 mile moderate hike located in Barnardsville, North Carolina, again on the Blue Ridge Parkway. And real quick, I created a really cool yoga and hiking experience here. So if you're interested in joining me or my team for that experience, I'll leave a link in the description below. Number 23, Rattlesnake Lodge. This is a 3.7 mile moderate to strenuous hike located in Weaverville, North Carolina. It's near the Blue Ridge Parkway, but if the parkway is closed, especially during the winter months, you can still access this hike from Ox Creek Road. This is a really cool hike if you want a little bit more of a challenge. You can also do an additional loop at the top, part of the Mountains to Sea Trail if you want some additional mileage here. And at the top, you'll see the ruins of a lodge that was actually built here in the early 20th century and burned down a long time ago. But I mean, in its glory days, there was like a swimming pool and tennis courts, and there was this like massive, like fancy house. But now all you'll see are some stone foundations and things like that, but still really cool, worth checking out. Okay, number 24, we're almost done. CRABTREE Falls, also located north of Asheville near Little Switzerland. It's right off of the Blue Ridge Parkway. This is a 2.6 mile moderate loop located in Grassy Creek, North Carolina. Really cool waterfall here that I highly recommend seeing. And finally, completing the list here, CATAWBA Falls, located in Old Fort, North Carolina, east of Asheville. This is about 3 miles round trip, relatively easy hike, and this is also another place where we do guided yoga and meditation at this location. It's really cool, and I highly recommend combining your hike with yoga and meditation if you are into that kind of thing. I'll leave a link for that in the description below. Thanks for sticking with me all the way through this video. I know it was a long one. I have a bonus for you, and I'll link to it in the description below. I created a 20-minute yoga practice to help you open your hips either before or after hiking. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helps you plan your own adventures in Asheville, North Carolina. Remember to give me a thumbs up if you found this video useful. Share it with friends and family who are traveling to Asheville, looking for a hike that works for their timeline and their group. Hope to see you here sometime in Asheville. Namaste and have a great day.